Hello, and we are delighted to be at the Elementary Technologies Experience Centre in Leeds today to find out more about their meeting technology that they have in their showroom. I'm Jonathan.
And I'm Lucy, and I'm so impressed with what we've seen today in the Experience Centre here in Leeds. It's like a meeting centre that like no other, really, and it's nothing I've ever experienced. Is it something like you've experienced before?
No, I would love to have some of this technology in the meeting room. It's transformed how the meetings could be run, the effectiveness, the ease of use of all the technology is great. We are joined by Paul.
Hello.
Hello. And would you like to explain a little bit more about the technology behind the meeting room?
Yep, definitely, as we've seen today. So we're passionate about technology that improves teaching and learning and education. And I suppose the backstory to all of this is we're all having remote meetings all the time. We're speaking to people through media and podcasting, all this communicative work not together is part of life, but actually a lot of the time the technology isn't up to the task and actually gets in the way. So first of all, is there technology that can be easy to use, clear and simple, and fairly priced is a key thing we've looked into over the years. And when developing this new centre, we investigated loads and loads of different options and came to a technology set which we think is perfect, and hopefully you guys have seen earlier on and were impressed with. And it's something that we passionately believe in. If we show that to our educators community, and they can not just see it but hear it, there's loads and loads of reasons that we've discussed of where it'll be, massively helpful across a whole school community really, and loads of different stakeholders. So hopefully something that can make a change and be worthwhile, definitely.
It's amazing, and for those of you who haven't seen the Elementary Technology Experience Centre, the meeting software allows you to talk and listen and see wherever you are in the room or space, and it picks up really good audio wherever you are in the world, really, I suppose, because you could dial in. And just to put it from an average school's perspective, the average school, Paul, will be using a laptop that might be quite old. They might have a TV screen that they're using to see people on in a web call. And so they've got lots of wires everywhere. There's lots of, plug socket issues. There's lots of charging issues. There's lots of, can you see me? Can you hear me okay? And often people are all squished into one webcam, looking down one webcam, trying to have a meeting together. And then they're looking at a screen to see somebody else who might not be in the room. And the audio is not great. The visual's definitely not great. And it's quite stressful, being completely honest with you, isn't it? Just like turning up to an important meeting, and often a lot of them are, big meetings where you have a lot of people coming together. They don't have much time. And
it's also the people who are receiving the call also have good audio as well, isn't it? So they can hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I think we were talking, there's loads of, you've mentioned there, Lucy, there's loads of barriers in the way, and that's for you delivering. So that stops you being confident, it stops it being efficient.
Definitely.
It means, these things people might perceive, I've got a webcam I'm making, do amending. We spoke about one example, Ed, who's a colleague here, is a governor at a school. They had a meeting yesterday where there's a laptop balanced on some books, a cable run over to there, it runs out, and this is just internally where, you have engagements with people outside of the organisation, be that you saying earlier on, there's loads of different reasons we want to have a clear meeting with somebody who's not person to person. And people don't necessarily know how good it can be. So I think it's one of these things we're really passionate about. In 15 minutes, you can connect to something and go, well, that's easy. We believe the technology, you fit it, you forget it, then the users walk in that room and just use it. They use it and engage with it. It's as easy as opening your laptop and pressing go on your Teams or your Zoom or whatever. However, you get clear audio both ways. So my audio out to to my attendees is excellent, but also it improves them coming in. And just, governors meetings, there's just so many things where there's lots of input. We're saving time, we're making it clear. So a bit of an investment is worth it. And that's just for an internal communication before we talk about potential educational benefits of what we can offer,
Going forward.
you know, by having a good solution that we can then do other things out to, you know, more education-based stuff. You know, start off with the pain points is meetings, are they professional and are they doing what we want them to do? Because,
like, you know, now more than ever, communication is so important. You know, we're in a difficult landscape in schools at the moment. Schools are really struggling on many elements, aren't they? And actually having an opportunity to talk clearly and in a relaxed, stress-free way, because I can honestly tell you, it has been really stress-free, hasn't it? We witnessed a meeting with you guys this morning using the technology that's behind us, and it was like the people that were not in the room, it was almost like they were in the same room as us.
Yeah.
And there was no worries about, are we connected, are the wires plugged in, does this laptop work that I've just borrowed on the way in?
Yeah.
And all of that is all set up. There's no anxiety around that, so you can actually focus on the meeting that you have.
Yeah, totally. And I think the beauty of it is, excuse me, the system and how it works the system does the same in all areas. So we've looked at, you might have a small meeting space, or we said it'd be great for a head teacher's office for your guys. I've got my office where I need to have these meetings, but it then goes into a sort of larger meeting room, a medium-sized meeting room, if you like, which could have a combination of bigger boardroom meetings between trust people, with governors, that sort of thing. But then also you can introduce some teaching and learning aspects, so a specialist teacher, or, you know, there's loads of things we can do from that angle. But then into a space like we're in now, so the same technology as we showed you, which you didn't really quite believe, is in a big space, you school hall, an auditorium, a larger teacher training space, you know, all sorts of stuff. It just removes the shackles of, I'm not cabled.
Yeah.
But it doesn't, I don't need a degree in computer science.
No.
I'm the user, I walk in and it just works. And that's, again, just me using whatever I would do to host that meeting myself.
Yeah.
But I get the quality benefits of having a system, which, again, all these things, the cost have come down so far. Conferencing and stuff people have been thinking about doing it for 20 years. You know, there was London, they did some stuff around London of ISDN lines and £50,000 kits, but the delivery tech wasn't there. And now after COVID, people are comfortable with it.
Yeah.
You get your Teams as part of your Office 365 or your Google Meet or whatever as part of your kind of, I hate the phrase ecosystem, as people would say, whichever operating systems you're using to run, you know, the collaborative stuff within the organisation, it just all goes together. So I think it's kind of the perfect storm has hit. So, you know, I think people just need to see and evaluate it. And once they see we came up with loads of reasons, didn't we? We could use it. So, you know.
The list is endless, really. I mean, and just in case, our listeners or our viewers are wondering what it is exactly we're talking about, could you just explain the piece of technology that we've used this morning?
Yeah.
Has wowed Jonathan and I so much. Yeah,
so as I say, it's not specific, it's not again, we're into technology to empower education, not techies. It's not an FX2531, you know, overhead Google Sprocket, all this stuff. It's the technology fills the room in that. The room has virtual microphones built within it. So effectively, no matter the room size, it's almost like the space is filled with invisible marbles, and each one of those marbles is a microphone. So wherever you are in that room, it knows where you are and will open the gain of that microphone so it's clear to hear. So we did some joking around. I sort of laid on the floor, I stood in the corner. It doesn't matter. But also, so the audio side of it also works well with multiple people in that room. So we're not talking over each other. It's not getting louder and louder. You know, we can all talk at our normal level. And again, that's just can work by space, so the technology or how that's produced is different by space. And again, having a decent quality camera, sometimes people think, it's only my webcam, it's 50 quid. You know, you get what you pay for. No one's saying you need a professional studio, it's not the X Factor or whatever, but you need something that's, my belief is it fit for purpose? Is it easy to use? Does it add value to what you're doing? And can it offer a return on investment? And the answer to all that is yes, but if you don't know it's there or you don't experience it, you can't make a judgment call as to why it's worth it. So I think that covers the audio and the audio and the camera side. Again, not expensive. It's not as cheap as those things we just said, but you're not going to have to,
I think the thing that really stuck out at me was how accessible it was. And I know that, if you've got big meetings and you've got parents in the room and you have local authority joining the meeting and things like that, it gave everybody the opportunity to have a voice, and it gave everybody the opportunity to be seen. Because often in school meetings at the minute, Paul, because you're all crowded around a tiny little laptop, which may or may not be working very well and may or may not have been charged, your camera might not pick up on people, and then people feel a bit left out because they haven't managed to get their voice across. And these meetings are really important, aren't they?
And it's about hearing what is to be said. Because
Exactly.
we've been to a couple of meetings that have been on Zoom, and we couldn't hear the sound very well and things like that. And so you don't feel included within that meeting because
you miss out on important bits.
You do miss out on important bits. So I think this will rectify quite a lot of that issues that are happening in schools. Yeah. So where do schools find out more information about what you offer?
Yeah, so they can get in touch. I guess on as part of this, we'll list our details. Again, with this, we're not a pushy sales organisation. We believe for those that hopefully your viewers who think, I'm interested if some of this has resonated, is genuinely in a 20-minute chat like we're having. It's not a sales pitch to say this, look, let's just experience. You're experiencing it yourself because you're at the other end. You can hear hopefully the difference just using it with whatever you've got now, and talk about some the options of what's there. So yeah, I think it's just jump on. We've got loads of information we can share as an initial thing, but I think it's just the whole point is the proof is in the pudding, or as they say, it's not seeing is believing, it's probably seeing and hearing is believing in this case. So jump on, let's have a quick chat, and I think very quickly people realise, actually I can see the reason why this would be a good idea. So that would be my hope anyway.
They can get in contact with us too, because as experienced school leaders, we can tell you from our perspective how we felt and the benefits and advantages of it too. So if you've got any questions about the technology we've been talking about, either get in touch with ourselves or directly with Elementary Technology. And I know these guys would be definitely happy to help, and so will we.